Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at Vector. This is manufactured by Anki. It is a small robot. You may be familiar with its predecessor, Cosmo, which essentially did not have the feature set and overall AI capability that we now have in Vector. And Vector is a brand new product, just recently released, $250 US, which may sound like a lot for what really went from being a toy to being more of a companion bot in a sense. This is connected to the cloud. So unlike Cosmo, which was dependent on your phone, this is basically always on, which is really cool. And for those of you that follow my channel, I will be getting the Aibo eventually to review and cover. So I felt like this would be a good companion for Aibo. Essentially, what you see on the side of the box here, Anki claims that Vector does have, each Vector has its own personality. So it is designed to interact with people. It also, in many ways, acts in the same way that an Echo or Google Home would, in that it does give you information when asked. It has facial recognition. You can see that it's aware of its surroundings. It has now far greater capability than what Cosmo had. Essentially, you have the guts of a smartphone. You know, essentially, a Qualcomm processor drives Vector, and then it has a laser in order to essentially know its surroundings. That is in conjunction with a built-in wide-angle camera. And the wide-angle camera was something that Cosmo had, but Cosmo just did not have what you see here in terms of the tech specs that are listed. So again, Snapdragon quad-core chip is driving this. You have that infrared laser scanner, the HD camera with 120-degree wide field, beamforming 4-microphone array. That's another thing you did not have with Cosmo. 6-axis inertial measurement unit, high-res color IPS display. That's for Vector's face. And then, of course, the Wi-Fi connection. Included inside, which you're about to see, we have, of course, the Vector robot itself, one cube, and a charger. And what you'll need, of course, is Wi-Fi connectivity. This does need that in order to basically stay alive and connect it to the cloud, and then iOS or Android for your device of choice to set this up. With that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and get this unboxed. A little bit of what Anki has to say about Vector, which is that really, in my opinion, it's a very cute robot and could be a lot of fun, and that's why I figured I would share it with all of you. So let's go ahead and open this up. And if I can see the seam here, this should be fairly simple. And you know, basically, when you think of robots, you don't think of something like this. You think of something larger, something more towards the humanoid form. And I think that's what Vector has gotten right about this, or excuse me, Anki has gotten right with creating Vector, is that here we have what really is just an adorable little robot. I'm going to unbox everything first. There is Vector's cube and his dock for charging. And I think that is pretty much it. We've got some paperwork in there. Right here, you can see the paperwork, but I'm not going to bother with any of that. At least for now. I'll save that for later. And that's pretty much, yep, that's everything. So, let's just take a quick peek. Again, whoop, look at what I'm doing to this poor Vector already. So the touch sensors that I was mentioning are right here. That's something new that you did not have with Cosmo, besides all of the internal specifications that have been revamped and really upgraded in a major way. But essentially everything still works the same. Your visualization for Vector's face is right here. I believe the laser is right there, unless that's the camera. I'm not exactly sure. I'll be doing demos with this. It does run on the track that you're seeing. And again, the microphones, having the brain, having the AI, these are all things that Cosmo did not have. And Cosmo, I believe, originally was around the same price. So, you know, basically, we've moved from a toy to something that, and really proof of concept, that's how I looked at Cosmo, to now a more mature product that, even though it may look a lot like the predecessor, it will not necessarily behave, act, anything like its predecessor. Now, the cube I mentioned, we've got right here, very similar to what, Cosmo would play with, and basically just show you different skills that it was capable of learning, understanding, utilizing. And we've got one here for Vector to play with. And then the dock, as I mentioned, pretty straightforward. Essentially, you plug this in. You will need, did I miss the wall adapter, or do they not include one? I would find it shocking that they did not include a wall adapter, but it doesn't look like there is. Let me double check the box. Guess what? There's no wall adapter. So I'm a little puzzled by that, because even on the packaging, it did say that there was a charger, but no wall adapter. At any rate, I guess they figure everyone has a wall adapter, which I do, so that won't be a problem, but a little weird. And basically, you can see the contact points right here on Vector. That is where it's going to have to sit and charge like that. So that is Vector's little house, so to speak, if you will. And again, the cube for him to play with. So it'll be interesting to see how Vector works out. Of course, I'm not expecting the experience that I would get from Aibo or, again, a humanoid robot, but the pitch from Anki here is that it's a deviation from what people traditionally expect from a robot, and that's what makes it unique and novel, is that rather than having something that might be able to do chores for you or take care of certain things, I've got plenty of robot vacs here in the house, things of that nature. This is really more of a companion, something that, can hang out with you at your desk. I wouldn't, play with your pets. It does have facial recognition. I'm not sure on the head count. I think it might be upwards of, it might be 15. I can't remember what this was not sent to me. This was purchased. So bear that in mind. But it'll remember your name in coordination with the facial recognition software. And then its behavior is all based on all of the sensors, basically the smartphone tech that's been crammed into this little body. So, I've seen plenty of demos where people are watching a movie or something, and basically Vector just rolls over and starts watching. He detects, or she or it, whatever you want to call Vector, it's up to you. That's the beauty. Vector will respond to its surroundings and then behave accordingly, however it wants to, basically. And then I believe you can take control like Cosmo. I'm actually not positive about that, but I wouldn't see any reason why they would have taken that feature away unless they really wanted to make this a completely AI-driven experience, which is very possible. At any rate, had they furnished me with this, trust me, I'd be much more well-versed on it. But since I purchased this, I'm going to find out the right way, which is through experience. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.